Hey, rich friends, it's Dr. T Mac here. And in today's T Mac Inspire show, I have an awesome guest. You guys may know her. She's like all Instagram famous and TikTok famous and all the things. You guys may know her as Dr.Vegan Booty, but I know her as Dr. Sabetha Price. We're gonna get into all of the things that made her who she is in these internet streets, and you guys need to stay tuned. All right, without further ado, I want to welcome my very special guest to the show today, Dr. Sabetha Price. Hey,
hello. Yes, I'm so happy.
How are you?
I am utterly fantastic, better now that I'm talking to you.
Ooh, I know who your mentor is. Hey, listen, I met you, I don't know, when did we officially meet? Maybe a year ago? Or
yeah, around a year, right around a year ago.
Right around a year ago. We both are in the same inner circle. We share the same mentor, but I didn't really know what you did. And, it's a big circle. So, didn't know. And I heard through a mutual friend in the circle, Dr. Sabetha Price is the bomb and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, send me her Instagram. That's the first thing we always say. I'm like, send me her Instagram. And I'm like, vegan booty. And I'm like, what is that? And I'm just scrolling and looking. And I'm like, I went down a rabbit hole and I spent so much time looking at your content. And it's amazing. So first of all, I want you to tell people who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Thank you. So I actually have two sides to me. Now, the first side is the Dr. Vegan Booty. So I created a product line because I got denied for a BBL back in 2013. And I was looking into getting illegal butt injections. The same exact person that K Michelle went to and a whole bunch of other socialites went to in the social media streets. But I think it was 2 days prior to me going to that hotel, the two people that told me about it ended up being hospitalized. And then that's when I realized, yes, and I'm trying to say it grammatically correctly or PC.
So wait a minute. So you were scheduled to have a BBL. Okay, explain BBL for people who don't know. Some people are listening, you may not know what a BBL is.
So I was attempting to get a Brazilian butt lift. When I went in to it's when they remove the fat from a certain area and inject it in your butt and your hips. And you get that kind of video vixen look. And me living in Atlanta, I was like, ooh, I want that. I could, because I was I was already a print model and I was already a print model. So a print model is basically the people that you see in the insides of magazines. So we're not the forefront, but we're the ones that
you're in there.
A t-shirt. Yeah, you're gonna see us in a little t-shirt.
Okay. So you're a print model. You live in Atlanta. Everybody has these nice booties. You're like, why not me? You find a doctor, you schedule the appointment, you get ready for surgery, and what happened?
So I didn't even get to the scheduling part. So he took my blood work. Okay, he took my blood work. I was 110 pounds. I was a vegan. I'm thinking I'm healthy, but we cannot outrun genetics. Okay, So he did my blood work. I found out that I had high cholesterol. I was already on track to have diabetes as a vegan.
At 110 pounds?
At 110 pounds.
Y'all, hold on. Pause. Everybody go get your vegan friends. They need to hear this because I'm just going to be honest. I've tried being a vegan. I might have tried it 10 days and I gained all kind of weight because I was eating all the wrong things. But I was being shamed for eating meat, which a lot of vegans shame people, meat eaters. They shame us. But what you're saying is you were 110 pounds, which means you were a stick and you were vegan and you were denied surgery because you were not healthy. All right, go get your vegan friends. Keep going.
No, I'm still vegan. I was just an unhealthy vegan. Okay,
Yeah.
I was having salads and stuff like that, salads and milkshakes and whatever. So, he took my blood work. He's like, "There's absolutely no way due to this blood work, and on top of that, you have absolutely no fat to graft." So he's like, "There's nothing I can do for you." So I left that office feeling defeated. I was like, I need this booty so I could finally get on the runway and live my supermodel dreams. Like,
you needed a booty. You needed a booty to do that?
Well, in Atlanta at that time, yeah, you get.
How long ago was this?
This was 2013, like 2012, 2013-ish. Mm-hmm. And it was right
Kim
around
Kardashian kind of
that time. Mm-hmm. And I was also a personal trainer. Okay, so there's several layers to it. So I was a master trainer, and a bunch of my clients were going to the girls that had the bigger booties because they're like, ooh, like they're the ones that can give me the look that I want. Because I had more of a long distance runner body. Okay.
Yeah.
If you could visualize that, I didn't have a track like a sprinter body. So they were like, I'm going to go to her. And then I asked all the people that they were going to, I'm like, how did you get like this butt? Because we looked exactly the same 6 months ago. Like, what have you been doing? And then that's when I found out about the illegal butt injections. So I was like, I'm going to go that route because they were my size and they were still able to get the quote unquote BBL. I was like, this the way for me. Like, I'm about to go this way. So, but I asked them, I'm like, did you tell your clients that you had like, a little bit of work done? We got to be transparent with our clients. And then they're like, oh my goodness, you are like a snake. Like, they pretty much dragged me in the mud because apparently it was supposed to be a little hush hush. And I'm all like, shouldn't we be honest?
Okay. So you find out about this underground get your fake booty world.
Yes.
And what happened though?
So 2 of the girls ended up going there to get the stuff done. They ended up getting hospitalized and I never heard from them again.
Oh.
So either they passed, they changed jobs. I'm not sure.
So you got spooked.
So I got spooked and I was like, there is no way that I'm going to put myself in these certain situations where my life is literally at risk. Okay. So I was not thinking about my life until it became so apparent to me, so in front of my eyes that you can actually pass away from this. You can actually be hospitalized. Like there's more risk than reward. And I remember like, it was like a light bulb inside of my head where I was like, okay, I was able to cure my anxiety, my depression, all these type of things with herbs. So I was like, is there a way that herbs can heal my body and also give me the look that I want? So that's when I started, give me the booty. I'm like, give me a booty, give me a little chest, a little something.
Okay, so what happened?
So I became an herbalist. After I became an herbalist, I was like, okay, like I started manufacturing my products myself on my kitchen counter, like at the apartment I stayed at in Atlanta. I was like,
stop the press.
Yeah.
Dr. Sabetha, come on now. Listen, hold up. So you said, okay, I'm a vegan. I want this booty. I can't get the booty because I'm not healthy. The people who I found out about this underground world, they went and got it. I hadn't heard from them. They got hospitalized. I don't know if they're dead or alive. Wait a minute. Let me heal myself from all the things. And then while I'm healing myself, hey, maybe I could just create this body that I really, really want through herbs. Like, what made you think that herbs could do that?
I'm like, if a herb can fix acne, if a herb can heal my brain, okay, from all this depression and anxiety, there's no doubt in my mind that a herb can build my booty. Like that was just a natural track. And I'm like,
so it was a belief that you had.
Yes, it was a belief. It was a belief. And then
what herb did you use?
So I first started off with maca. Everybody out in the world, like that's just getting into booty building world, they're like, okay, maca is the thing that's gonna get you thick. But did you know that there's 3 different strands of maca?
What is maca?
agree. So maca is a root. It's a Peruvian root.
Okay.
Okay. It's like grown high in high altitudes to get like the purest quality. So there's yellow maca, which is for energy. There's black maca, which is specialized to boost testosterone for men. And then there's red maca, which has energy and helps boost up your curves as a woman.
So you took the
Red.
I took the red like in the Matrix. You took the red pill. Okay, so you did your research. You figured out I need to take the red maca, and so you got in your kitchen, and what did you do?
So first I started like just grounding up the powder. I was like, okay, this is giving me some type of results. And then I got into making my own tinctures. Okay. So what a tincture is basically when you distill it in alcohol for a couple weeks, and then it gives you, a purer, more distilled form and more powerful form of any herb.
So let's be clear. You're not a medical doctor.
Not a medical doctor.
Okay.
Not a medical doctor.
You're not a medical doctor. You were just trying to heal your body and then build your body up the way you wanted it. So you became an herbalist in your own right, a self-proclaimed herbalist, right? You weren't out here trying to heal the world, right?
No, not at all.
I'm young, I'm cute, and I just want the body. Now my insides are good. Let me get the body to match.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to be clear. You're not a medical doctor.
Not a medical doctor.
So you became this kitchen chemist, and you put together this tincture, and you start. How often did you take it?
So when I first started taking it, I was taking it like 2 times per day. I bumped it up to 3 times per day. And then what I realized is that there's several other phytoestrogens that I can take in order to get the body of my dreams. So what a phytoestrogen is a plant-based estrogen that can get you like the look. It boosts up estrogen production in a vegan and organic way. In a safer way than taking a, chemically made synthetic estrogen.
Okay. So then you added that to your regimen.
Yes.
Okay.
And then within 2 weeks, my clients were like, "Did you go see the person that you said? Like,
you lying?
Did you go to that place?" I'm like, I'm so serious. They were like, "Did you go do the thing that you said that you weren't going to do? Girl, come on."
In 2 weeks?
Yes. Within like 2.5 weeks.
You got a booty.
They started noticing the difference. Yeah, they started noticing the difference.
When did you notice a difference?
I noticed a difference within 3 weeks because I was like, listen, let me take pictures. So once they started saying something, I took a picture, and then like a week later, I'm like, maybe this is the little shun. Maybe this is.
So then, okay, what happened? Because I know you started selling it. So what was that transition like?
So my clients were like, "Hey, you got any more?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could give you like a jar of it," because I was ingesting it personally. And then I made a cream. I was like, maybe I should just make a cream so I could do double duty. So I was giving my cream to my clients. I was like, I'll give it to you in a mason jar. It doesn't smell that great. It doesn't look all nice. Okay. I gave all these disclaimers. I'm like, it smells like grass and like outside. Okay. Those of y'all that know what outside smell like. It smells like
we know. Okay.
So, yeah, they used it, and then I lost them as clients, but I gained them as my first Fit Fine Flawless customers.
Oh, whoa. So they were not they were no longer, you didn't train them anymore.
Yeah, I didn't train them anymore because they got the look that they wanted, and they just became my first flawless babes. Yeah. Because a lot of my clients just wanted a butt. They didn't want to do squats. They didn't want to lift heavy. They didn't want to do hip thrusts. They didn't want to do any of that. They're like, listen, if I could just get an extra inch and a half, like, I'm good. I'm done. I'm not doing this.
So then you quickly transitioned from being a trainer to being an e-commerce queen.
Yes, and it was not planned at all. I did not plan for it. It just happened.
So, okay, so how did it evolve?
So I moved from Atlanta. They were my first clients. I wasn't even on like a platform at that time.
Okay.
Then it's a very long journey. So let me do
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
fast forward. So I ended up going back to Buffalo to go to school, graduated with my fashion degree, got out into the workforce. Nobody was really hiring for fashion designers. So I ended up, just getting random jobs, just floating through life like
Okay.
most of us do after we graduate.
Right.
I ended up meeting my husband. He lived in Virginia. I quickly moved from Buffalo to Virginia and then started manufacturing my products again. It just
Okay.
hit me like one day when I was working at a law firm. Like I've worked in jails, law firms, just trying to find myself. You know how we do
Mm-hmm.
at the
Yeah, for sure.
and I was working at the law firm and I was like, this is not for me. I should not be a paralegal. Like, why am I here? This is not creative enough for me. Like, I felt like I kind of just got lost in the sauce because I was chasing the check. Okay. That's what I was doing. I was like, okay, I'm not going to work in a jail anymore as an administrator. I'm going to go be a paralegal because paralegals make $2 more. Because when you work in that type of life, you just trying to find like, okay, I can get $3 more here, $5 more here,
Right. Just
and
chasing a dollar.
chasing the dollar. And I was like, I don't feel fulfilled, so I started making my products again.
So who became your customers? Because you moved and did all the things. How'd you build your clientele?
So I built my clientele again through Instagram. I was posting my pictures and stuff on Instagram. I started studying herbalism again, like because it was always a passion of mine. So I dove deeper to figure out how I could get the outside smell gone.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I got rid of that. And then I developed a new process. And now it's virtually scentless. And my first customers were on Instagram. I told them about it. I just shared my story. And then I started giving out free samples. Like, I free sampled my way to where I am today.
And how many followers did you have? I mean, now you have like tens of thousands of followers. So how many followers did you have at the time?
I started from zero.
Whoa.
I started from zero. And I just showcased my personality. A lot like how Cardi B did when she started like blowing up. I showcased my personality. People were vibing with me. And then I eventually introduced my product. It wasn't just product. Like I was like, hey, this is what I did for myself. If you're interested, go ahead, click the link in my bio. We can talk about it.
Okay. Nice combination. Nice recipe. Yeah. So, okay. So then who gave you the name? Where did the name Vegan Booty, Dr. Vegan Booty come from? Like who gave you that name?
That came from like my first 10 flawless babes. They were like, listen, you the vegan booty doctor. Like there's no because there's other products on the market. But I'm the only one that's vegan. Like there's no fish in it, there's no meat marrow, there's no collagen, nothing like that in my product. So they're like, you are the vegan booty doctor. Like this is it. This is who you are.
Okay. So I okay. That makes sense. What made you become a vegan?
I had a lot of health issues, like a lot. I struggled with bloating a lot. I struggled with crazy hormonal breakouts on my face. My mood fluctuations were all over the place. I would be happy one moment, crying the next moment, and I was like, I'm not, there's got to be something in the food. And then my mom was like, well, what have you ever tried like cutting the stuff out? I ended up going to the doctor and they're like, let's just do the elimination diet to figure out what exactly is making you feel this way. I was like, forget an elimination diet. I'm just going to go vegan. I'm like, cut it all out. I'm done. I got to a point where I was like, it looks like I'm 5 months pregnant every single time I eat a burger. For like,
so you had like IBS or gluten sensitivity or something like that?
I didn't even take the time to figure it out. I was like, I'm going to cut it out. I'm not going to do it anymore. This hurts me. I'm cutting it out.
So, so you don't you're vegan, but do you eat things that have gluten in it?
I have cut back significantly. I go for like more of like a cauliflower rice type situation.
Okay.
If I'm eating like bread, it's like a gluten-free bread.
Okay.
Doesn't all that great, or a lettuce wrap. And yeah, I realized that it was the meat that was making me a little bit more sad. It sounds weird, okay? But every time that I would like eat meat or eat even fish, every time I would eat meat or fish, I would just get really sad out of nowhere. And I'm like, is this a mental thing? Is this a physical thing? I didn't really want to take the time to figure it out.
But you kind of did. But you kind of
yeah,
did.
but I did. I
Yeah.
did. And yeah, I looked it up online. I was like, okay, let me just go to YouTube University and figure out what's going on. And they're like, well, animals have feelings, and every time that you eat an animal, like some people get sad when you eat them. I'm like, okay, this seems very odd, but all right, could be the reason.
I can see that. I can see that. I'm not gonna say I'm a vegan because I do, I eat my seafood and I dabble every now and then with chicken every now and then, but I always believe chicken ain't really chicken anyway. Like there's no way
ain't that many chickens.
Ain't that many chickens on this earth. that is really genetically modified or whatever you call them. So I'm halfway feeling what you're saying. Food is either medicine or it's poison. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. It is what it is. We have to try to stay as close to nature as we can. It's not always easy. In doing so, I've been a nurse for 29 years. I can't believe this. 29 years. So I've always been, close with the what you eat, the mind, the body, all of the things working together. So it doesn't seem that far-fetched to me what you're saying. I get it. It makes sense to me that if you're eating something that has parents, then it also has DNA, and you're getting some of that in you, right? So you figured it out. You said, I'm done. Your mood changed. Your skin cleared up. All the things happened, but you were still not healthy.
I was still not healthy because I was not eating enough for my body type. So, like, all that, you're a nurse. So, for my body type, I have to eat more carbs and I have to eat more whole foods. So, I was like, carbs are the devil. So, I was one of those. I was like, I'm not going to do it because carbs make me gain weight. And one thing that I realized is that I needed to heal my relationship with food. And not only heal my relationship with food, heal the relationship with myself. I realized that there was a lot of self-hate and a lot of self-doubt going on inside of me that was underneath my attachment to food. So when I started peeling back the layers of what I was eating, how I was eating, I realized that, hey, this is deeper than just food. Everything is always deeper than the one thing that we see on the surface. So yeah, that's really what happened. Like
I was going to ask you about that in the beginning, but I'm glad you unraveled it the way that you did, because it all started with what you thought was a physical thing. You wanted to look a certain way, right? But we all know that it's always deeper than what's on the surface. Definitely. So when you began to peel that back and say, look, I need to heal who I am on the inside. I'm not treating myself the way I deserve to be treated. And food is that's just something. That's like a symptom, or, but the real thing that I have to deal with, I need to deal with it. So when you started dealing with that thing, what happened to you?
I was able to have my first real breakthrough. I was able to love myself and forgive myself for certain situations that I allowed myself to be in. Mm-hmm. And I was able to actually process grief. So in between all of this, one of the main catalysts for me becoming vegan was I needed like a huge shift because my boyfriend that I had when I lived in Buffalo before I dropped out of school passed away. So I was dealing with grieving, and I was like, I need the biggest change I could think of. I'm going vegan. It was on top of all those other things, all those other layers. But I was like, I just really need something to make me forget. I didn't want to process. And when I
You know
peeled
what?
back,
Go ahead.
when I peeled back those layers after that whole, it was like 8 months of me just peeling back. I'm like, oh, I'm grieving. This is what grief looks like for me. So I actually went to a class for grieving. I was like, let me just go to a class with other people that are grieving. I was like, this isn't really talked about in our community, but I'm just going to go to this little class. I'm going to see if it really helps. And it was remarkable for me being in that environment with other people who were also processing grief. It looked different on every single person. And I was like, wow, I'm punishing myself because I did not allow myself to grieve properly. So that breakthrough healed my relationship with food. And it also healed my relationship with my body. I was like, I wanted to look significantly different than what I looked like when I was in that relationship. That was another breakthrough that I had. It's just so much. I wanted to be a different person so I couldn't feel those feelings. And one thing I learned about emotions is that emotions are just energy in motion, and you have to allow them to go over you like a wave. Allow them to pass over you and pass through you like a wave, and just embrace those sad moments, but deeply feel the joy, okay? Because joy is always underneath. Joy is now my new baseline. So I'm always smiling. I'm always happy because it's my new baseline.
Yes, but look what it took. Honestly, it took the work. I'm just gonna be honest. You had to do the work. Yeah, the road to get there may look different from everybody. Everybody has a different road. But you said, listen, I got to do this work. I need this breakthrough. I got to do the work. Do you think that's what people saw on social media? Do you think that's why people were drawn to you? Did they see this transformation?
On social media, I think that they did get sparks of it. Like they saw a little bit here and there. They saw a little, but they saw how open and honest I was. So yes.
It was the work, yeah. It's
Yes.
the peeling back of the onion, the layers. You may not have said it verbally, this is what I'm doing. But people who are in your sphere of influence, those are your people that God called you to serve, right? So when we look at it, one of the reasons why I feel like you're so successful and you have your business is doing really, really well is because you leaned into why you were put here. You had to unravel, you had to break free from a lot of things. And whether you realize it or not, you were vulnerable in every phase. It just looks different for everybody. So you didn't just wake up in the morning, excuse me, and say, I want to be Vegan Booty Doctor. You didn't do that. You really did the work to become who you are today. So
Yes.
there's no magic formula. Like people are looking at you like, how did she do this? How did she do that? There's really no magic formula other than you got to do the work. People don't want to hear that.
Yes, and you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable with yourself. A lot of times we're taught to be strong, we're taught to be brave, but we're not really taught to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And growing up, I was always told that I was like more emotional than other people, but I realized that that's my strongest superpower. Like that's my superpower because I'm able to identify and really empathize with people no matter where they are in their journey. Mm-hmm. And like the secret underlying layer of the Fit Fine Flawless is surprise. We're going to do the inner work too. Because a lot of times people feel like you gotta look good on the outside. But every now and then I sprinkle in alive just being real. I'm like, just being real, open and honest. Like, listen, when you transform your body, you're still stuck you. You still have to go home with you. So let's work on that piece as well. Sprinkle in that content. I'm like, we don't want to talk about it, but how are you feeling? Because a lot of people say fine. How are you feeling today? Fine. That's not real. How are you feeling today? Okay. That's not honest. Like, you know
what
what?
it reminds me of? I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's like when somebody says, oh yeah, I'm struggling a little bit today. You know, this happened and that happened. I'm like, okay, let's deal with those emotions. Okay, let's deal with this energy. That's emotion right now.
Right.
Let's address that.
Right. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, and no shade to any religion or anything like out there, but it reminds me of when I was growing up. I grew up in a Baptist church, and I had a grandmother that used to say, oh, they just, during baptism, oh, they just went down a dry devil and came up a wet devil, and thought that their life was just going to change because they got baptized, but they didn't do the work. They just got dipped, and they're still the same. They're just a wet devil. And she used to say that, and I remember growing up hearing that, and I would liken that to different situations. Right? So like for instance, you go out, you have the surgery, you get this perfect body. Well, you're still ugly on the inside. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what, you look good if a man takes you home and, then after all the good, then he's looking at your bad attitude and you're this and you're that. And nobody wants to address that.
Yes.
Why is that?
It's hard. It's not easy. It takes too much time.
And too much work. But really, that's when life really begins. Right?
Yes, definitely. Like the shift happened for me when I was able to peel back the reasons why I was doing a lot of different things. The reason why I allowed myself to be in certain situations and circumstances where I knew they were not aligned with my higher purpose. So I ended up leaving and starting over. Like I was the queen of starting over. I was like, "Ooh, don't like it. It doesn't align. Start over."
That's me. I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. I'm like that. I will pivot. I don't call it starting over now. I call it pivoting. It just sounds better, but really it's starting over. If I say it all the time, if I'm not happy doing it, I'm done. I'm done. I gotta scratch it and do it again. Start over, pivot, whatever you want to call it, because that's when you're really being authentically you. I cannot do things that I'm not happy doing. I can't. So that brings me to this question. So I heard that now you're like teaching people how to do the TikTok thing. What happened over there in TikTok land?
So in 2020, I believe it was, or it was 2021, I realized that Instagram wasn't pushing on my content like that. And then I was like, there's a new platform out. Let me try it. Well, TikTok wasn't, yes, it was brand new because it went from Musical.ly to TikTok. I was like, I'm just going to take my talents to TikTok. And I was the same exact authentic, raw version of myself on TikTok, and they loved it. Okay. Like, the people over on TikTok at that time, there was no one really selling a product, but I was not selling a product. I was just introducing people to a product. I was selling myself more than anything. I was like, you want to be happy? You want to be whole? You want to actually address some issues? Let me help you.
So what did you start selling first on TikTok?
So on TikTok, I came out with like a new offer, and I was like, I had a free plus shipping product. So you could get a free sample that's 2 ounces, and then you just have to pay shipping, which is $14.99. And that's when I introduced TikTok. And then one day, one of my posts went super, super viral. And
what is viral on TikTok? What is that?
So over 1 million, technically over 500,000. It enters like the virality stage.
So how many? What was viral for you for that post?
It was like 1.8 million views.
Wow! And so what happened?
So overnight, I went from working my 9 to 5 at an energy company now because the level up. I I was like, God, if I could just make my yearly salary in a day, I'll quit this job. And I made my yearly salary in a day from a 5-second post.
You lying. How much money did you make off of that post?
$60,000
Off of one post.
off one post.
I gotta find the post.
And
Find the post, BJ.
my life just changed, like literally
You
overnight.
made $60,000 off of a 5-second post on TikTok.
On TikTok.
What did the post? What was the post?
What was it? Was it 7 seconds? It was definitely under 10.
Okay. And then, like, what happened? People just started ordering?
People just started ordering. Like, they clicked the link in my bio. I was like, I need this, I need this, I need this. And all we heard, me and my husband, we heard like ding, ding, ding. I'm like, oh, wow, we get some orders. And I heard ring, ding, 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 ding.
Oh, it was a jam then, right? And so, what? So, did you quit your job immediately?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. I allow fear to get in the way, and I allow other people to tell me what to do. Like, I allowed that into my space. So I literally kept my job for another month and a half. I was still going to work. It got to a point where I was losing money by going into the office.
Yeah, for sure. Because you couldn't focus on your business.
Yes.
And so, what made you say, "Okay, I'm done. I'm going to jump all in"?
It was a lot of different layers, but I think like the actual moment was when my boss called me and he said, "You came into work 5 minutes late." When I've always been to work 5 minutes early. I was like, "You're considering this 5 minutes late because I'm actually on time today." I was like, 2-week notice, we're done.
Okay.
We're done.
Okay. that sounds about right. That's how it
like,
happened.
no, it was like, no light bulb, like, oh, wow. Like, it was very anticlimactic.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, okay. So are you, at that time, did you focus more on TikTok or were you kind of, vacillating between the two platforms? What were you doing?
So what I was doing was I was focusing more on TikTok, but I was still present on Instagram.
Okay.
Because at that time, a lot of people didn't even know what TikTok was. So I was like, I'm just going to stay on both.
Obviously, a lot of people did.
Like my core people, they were like, what's a TikTok? I was like, it's the thing that used to be Musically. Follow me over there. I took my time once east.
Wow, that is awesome. So now what do you do? I know did you expand your brand? I know you coach people. What are you doing right now?
Yes. So right now with my other brand, Content to Currency, I teach people how to actually make money on TikTok, have a profitable TikTok, because a lot of people that are starting out don't have $10, $20, $30,000 for a marketing budget. Like, can't afford the influencers, can't afford like the ads for Facebook or anything like that. So I'm teaching those beginning entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs who want to really change their life.
Okay.
Organically, without
it's
having
called content to
currency.
Content to currency. So you teach people, like, how often do you teach them?
So we did our first session in December. So I believe we're gonna go with more of like a 3-month schedule.
Okay.
So like a challenge for the first week, and then those people who qualify after the challenge, they could go into my higher level program.
Okay, so you work more one-on-one with people or like a group setting, or?
It's like a small group setting.
And how long can they work with you?
They could work with me for a year.
Okay.
For 1 year.
And then, so they go from basically just starting out, and then do they have products already, or what does that look like?
So we'll help them develop their products.
Okay.
I like to say so, but it's like, I will help you develop your product line if you want to go more of a physical product base or more of a digital space. So I always suggest that everyone starts digital first, because doing a digital product, less risky, no overhead, it's just straight profit.
Let me tell you, girl, let me just say this. I will create an ebook in like 10 minutes, right? So, and this was pre-chat GPT, okay? But now, baby, I can do an ebook in 10 seconds. But anyway, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad that you said digital, you're teaching the digital product way, because I'm literally, and I'm being, not being braggadocious, but I guess I can say I'm being braggadocious because I have receipts. But you can literally create a digital product in the morning and make $10,000 to $50,000 that day before you go to sleep off of one digital product.
Yes.
In the digital product, you can literally create it in, I'm going to give you an hour, less than an hour. And you don't have to have a big following.
Not at all. Not at all. And a lot of people who have the following that I'm realizing, like the people with millions of followers, they can't sell a t-shirt.
Because they don't get it. I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I had this conversation with my husband and the boys a couple of weeks ago, and he was looking at somebody's somebody had reached out to me, and I do private money lending and real estate and stuff like that. So they had reached out to me to borrow some money on a real estate deal. And so, but they're popping on social media. When I say popping, I mean popping on social media. And so my husband, I was talking to him. So he started looking at their social media. He was like, oh my God, they got X amount of followers. Oh my God, look at all these likes. Look at all this engagement. I said, but they're broke. And it didn't register with him. And so he kept saying it. But if you could post like this I said, they're broke. They're coming to me for money for a real estate deal. And I don't care how many followers they have. They have oodles and oodles and oodles of followers, but they don't know how to monetize it. They're broke. So what you're saying and what you're teaching, if people are out here listening, you got all these followers. If you are not having a minimum, if you got 1 million followers, you need to have a minimum 6-figure month minimum.
Bare minimum.
If you're not, you better get with Dr. Sabetha. I'm going to tell you that now. Period. The end. I'm telling you. It blows my mind how people have these followers. And I had my first 6-figure day with 1,200 followers on Instagram.
It doesn't take much. It just takes the right messaging. You need the right messaging and the right people. That's it.
That's it. I'm so glad that. So when is the next time that you're teaching this, doing the challenge thing to help these people? Help the people, girl. Help the people.
I want to help the people. So the end of March, the last week of March, tentatively, that is the day that we can really get into the challenge. And I'll teach you the basics of TikTok. Because a lot of people are like, I just want to jump to 1 million followers. It's like, when you lay the foundation correctly, you are able to monetize.
Listen to Dr. Sabetha, y'all. Listen. Y'all better get with her. I'm going to put all your links below, above, wherever they're listening and watching. I have more audio listeners than I do on YouTube. So y'all better go click these links when y'all done listening and get with Dr. Sabetha if you are interested in learning how to monetize. Like, don't just be on social media chasing followers and likes. I mean, that drives me crazy because I'm like, I look at your followers and likes, but I'm looking at my bank account. I like the way my bank account looks. Okay, I'm just saying.
It's facts. Yes, because I remember back when I had like 50,000 followers on TikTok, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, you only have 50,000 followers." I'm like, "But have you seen my bank statements?"
I got receipts. That's what we need to get the people to, seriously. And I think things will start looking a little better once they learn. There is a formula to social media, believe it or not. A lot of people just think it just happens, but no, there really is a formula, and you teach it, and you teach it well, and people need to really pay attention and get with you on that. So we'll get your links down below for the next challenge. But I heard that your birthday is coming.
Yes, it's actually on the 10th, and we are having our very first birthday sale. So I'm super excited.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the birthday sale.
So the birthday sale is buy one, get one 40% off. And I was like, This is crazy. But it's for my physical product band. It is for the Fit Fine Flawless. It's to get you thick. It's to get you snatched. It's to get you all that.
Can I get it? Can I buy it?
Yeah, you can get it if you're trying to get a bigger butt. If you want to get snatched, get a smaller waist.
I want a smaller waist. So I think if you have a smaller waist, your butt naturally looks bigger. That's what
naturally looks bigger. Yes, it does. So the smallest I've been ever been able to get my waist naturally using my products was 23 inches.
That's small.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I can do it. I was just trying to push it to the limit. So yes.
Oh yeah, because I mean, the spring is coming. I'll be 48 this year, so I want to get all snatched.
Get snatched up.
So where do they, on Instagram, how can they find you? Because they need to get this birthday special because I'm going to order it.
Yes, it is The Fit Fine Flawless everywhere. I'm The Fit Fine Flawless on Instagram, The Fit Fine Flawless on TikTok. And yeah, those two places. And
so it's a 40%. Is it 40% because are you turning 40?
No, I'm actually turning 32.
32. Okay. Well, why is it 40% off?
I was like, yeah, 40%.
Okay.
It was just random number.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take the 40% off. Okay. I'm gonna take it. Oh my God. Okay. I'm so glad that you came. This was really, really fun. I could talk to you all day, really. But I want you to speak to your person, the person that God put you on this earth to serve. I want you to speak to them right now because they may be in a place where they feel like they can't do this, or she did it, but I don't know if I can do it. I want you to speak to them real quick.
So what I've always said to myself, after I was healed, I like to call it, is self-love is the best love because it can never be taken away. So if you ever feel like less than, or if you ever feel like you're not beautiful or you're struggling in a mental space, just remember that just love yourself first. What I do is I say my positive affirmations to myself first thing in the morning. I'm like, I'm beautiful, I'm worthy, I'm wealthy, I'm blessed, I'm filled with success. And whatever somebody else says to me in the outside world is just an extra little cherry on top. Affirm yourself first.
Affirm yourself first. That was really nice. Thank you so much for coming on and spending time with me and my people.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, rich friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to do all the things, like, the share, the comment, and all those great things. And don't forget to, if you're watching or listening on Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it, go ahead and shoot me a review. That really helps me get in front of the people who God has called me to serve, right? So I want to make sure that we are putting out the best content for you to help you on your journey. So thank you. And I will see you guys on the next episode. But remember, you can have it all.